Hello, hello. I am back. Happy hump day. We are back with more Mackenzie Shirilla. I hope you guys have had a great day. Hello, Abuelita's journey. Hi, thank you. Yes, I changed it up. We're switching things up. Hello to all the new viewers, all the new subscribers, all the returning subscribers and viewers. I appreciate you guys so much for supporting my little channel. Welcome back. It's going to get hot in here today. We're going to cover Mackenzie Shirilla text messages with Dom, her boyfriend, who was a victim in the car crash. If you are not familiar with the Mackenzie Shirilla case, please check out my playlist. I have a bunch of content on her body cam footage, reports, and now we've been deep diving into the text messages. So I'm really excited to get into these. Like I mentioned last night, we're not going to get through all of them. I have thousands of pages of text. So I'm just going to read as much as, I don't want to make the lives too long for the replay viewers. So we're going to trim them down and do a series of parts for the text messages with Dom. First, before we start with Dom's text messages, I do want to cover just 3 text messages with Angelo, who is Dom's brother, and then we'll hop into Dom's and Mackenzie's text messages. Let me say hi to everyone. I saw Sane. Hello, I saw Illegally Blonde says, I just found Melly's channel. Thank you. Kimmy says, new sub, welcome. This is Mellyverse, where we do things my way and your way. So welcome. And hello to my Mara Abuelita's journey. Welcome. Okay. Let's get right to it. So on the screen, and I apologize, I have to say a little disclaimer. Last night when I was going through text messages, I didn't realize I wasn't switching the page. The way the files come to me and the way I share them on the screen, I wasn't turning the page through Miss Russo's text messages with Mackenzie. Miss Russo is Dom's mom. So just a little, let's touch base. Mackenzie crashed her vehicle into a brick wall at 100 miles per hour, and she killed Davion Flanagan and Dominic Russo. Dominic Russo was her boyfriend of about 4 years. So we're going to get into these text messages. And Shug McKinney says, hey, new sub. Hello, chat. Hello. Welcome to Mellyverse. Okay. I am Melly, by the way, your host for the night, and welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. Please make sure you subscribe and make sure you check out all my playlists. I cover all cases. I am also covering the case of Idaho 4 and Emmanuel Harrow, who is has gone missing, on top of all of this. So it's all things true crime here, but we like to have a good time, and we don't really follow any rules, but we try to behave. So let's get started. On the screen, it's just 3 text messages from Mackenzie to Angelo. Angelo is Dom's brother. Hello, Moonchild. Good to see you. So this was sent on 12/24/2020, and I just want to repeat, some of these dates might be way off or a couple days off, a couple weeks off. These are the text messages that the detectives decided to pull from all the data they extracted, Celebrite data. So it's just going to pertain to the case and their toxic relationship and things of the sort. So please make sure, like I said, go back and rewatch the text messages from last night. Really good live, kind of long. It's like 2 hours, but we read over some documents and we start the whole thread of text messages. So on 12/24/2020, Angelo says to Mackenzie, no problem. Sorry, I'm not much help. I suck at shopping. Maybe he meant shopping. Mackenzie says and I don't know how important these are. So on February 14, 2021, she says, Angelo. And Angelo says, yo. And Mackenzie says, keep an eye on Dom. I dipped, but he's saying he's actually going to, quote unquote, do it. And it is kill himself. So the detectives extracted these and kept them in the Celebrite data because it's giving proof that there was something going on with either Dom or Mackenzie prior to the crash and their toxic relationship. And this is clearly Mackenzie being concerned for Dom, that he was going to take his own life, because it has been a debate, what was the motive for this accident? Was Mackenzie just being a toxic, evil, murderous girlfriend, or was there a medical condition that plays a factor? And, what role did Dom play in this? So that's a very interesting text, I think, where Dom says he was going to take his own life. Let me pull up the text messages from Dom and we'll get started on that. Sorry, it takes a little bit to load on my screen. It's a really big file, so just bear with me. Okay, so on the screen, we have Mackenzie and Dom. This is Celebrate information, and we're going to start in 2020. That's where we started last night too. It doesn't go day by day. Like I said, it goes in. They picked what was best for the investigation. So Mackenzie says to Dom, "Hey, am I unblocked?" Dom responds with, "That Insta account isn't private, and you have vids of you smoking in my room." And Mackenzie responds, "Oh shit, I'll make it private." Dom responds with, "All you posted was boomerangs, LOL. You're that kind of girl now?" And Mackenzie says, "No, why aren't you saying, 'Oh, you look so good, Kenzie. Why you being like that?' Don't drag me down, hype me up," says Mackenzie. That's really mean, for real. I always hype you up. Disliked, you're that kind of girl now. So she, thumbs down on the text. And Dom says, "I wouldn't want to be hyped. I'd rather just know what I am." And Mackenzie says, you just made me really self-conscious. I just want to delete the account. Are you still thinking about chilling? I'd only be there for like 1 or 2 hours. Dom says, maybe. Mackenzie says, it would be really fun. I want to show you my outfit. I could come over whenever, just can't stay that late. Maybe we could go see a movie, says Mackenzie, on the way home right now. Dom says, probably not. Okay, if no movie, then let me come over at 7, says Mackenzie. I'm home. And that was at 6:30 p.m. Can we chill for like an hour and a half? Why did you block me on Snap? You said you wouldn't. And Dom says, because I didn't want you to message that phone. Mackenzie says, okay, can I please come chill for like an hour? I can only stay till like 8 or something. It would be so nice. It would take away a lot of stress for tomorrow, and it would make me really happy. Dom doesn't respond, and she responds with, Dom? And then Dom says, I'm probably going to go chill with Kyle, so probs not. Mackenzie says, please. Dom says, but I'm a chill with Kyle. And Mackenzie says, I miss you. I want to just chill for a little tonight. Can you just bring me maybe? And Dom says, maybe when I get back from Kyle's. And Mackenzie says, what time can I get food for you? What time can I get food for you and me if you want to? I need dabs. Oh, okay. So last night we were wondering, about the substances and all the stuff, the hidden words and hidden conversation going on between her and her dad. And people were saying that she was dabbing, and that makes sense now because we're seeing it here. She says, I need dabs. Dom says, I'm eating corned beef. Mackenzie says, how is that? And when will you be back from Kyle's? Because I want to chill so bad. I'm like craving to see you. And I just want to say, like, that's really toxic. Like, this is a really toxic relationship. We know that, but we've seen other stuff from Mackenzie as of yesterday with text with Miss Russo and such things. I think she was a little obsessed with Dom. And I think Dom was obsessed with her for a minute too, but I think Mackenzie was in a status of, if I can't have him, then no one can. So then Dom says, I don't know, I'm tired, so I won't be there long. Mackenzie says, okay, bet. Please text me after. I'll be over fast and we can just kick it. And Dom says, okay. And then Mackenzie says, yay, I'm excited AF right now. When are you going? I literally have bad anxiety. I'm so excited. And I do just want to note, Mackenzie was 17, 2 weeks shy from being 18 at the time of the crash. So during 2020, she was like maybe like 15, going on 15, maybe going on 16. So she was fairly young. And then Dom says, she says, I literally have bad anxiety. I'm so excited. Dom says, I don't know, soon. And Mackenzie says, are you driving? Would you scoop me up on the way back? Will you be home around 8? And Dom says, no, probably longer. Mackenzie says, shit, there's no way I could just come with you. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, I really want to hang out tonight, so I can't be out super late. Dom says, okay. Mackenzie says, can you just try to be back at your house early enough? It would make me so happy, babe. Dom says, I'll try. Mackenzie says, that means a lot to me. Thank you. Please just try. Don't let me down. And about an hour later, she says, are you leaving right now? What if you try to be back by 8:30 at least? And then she says, babe. And then she says, hey, answer right quick. Dom? And Dom says, what? Mackenzie says, can you try to be home at 8:30 so I have at least an hour? And would you pick me up on your way back to your house? I'm just waiting for you to go home. And Dom doesn't respond. And Mackenzie says, babe. Dom, answer. And then she says, oh, she removed an exclamation from the text. So she edited the text. Then she says, Dom, answer, please. And then she says, you're going to do me like this? In caps. And then she says, hey, babe, unlock me on Insta. I want to send you shit. Text me when you wake up, please. That was the next morning. Okay, so Dom clearly maybe never got back to her, or that wasn't important information pertaining to the investigation. Next day, Mackenzie says, text me when you wake up, please. And then she says, arrow pointing up. So Dom didn't respond. And then he responds, finally, at 7:34 a.m., I'm up. Mackenzie says, bet. Can I come over in like 5? This is 7:34 a.m. on the day after, like, okay, so she's texting him, hey, pick me up. He obviously doesn't want to hang out with her. He's hanging out with his friends. Then she's like, oh, I'm coming over at 7:34 in the morning. I mean, how controlling is Mackenzie being here? We saw it last night with Miss Russo's text where she was like stalking and harassing her. And now we're seeing her being so pushy with Dom. And this is just, you know, the beginning of it. These are text messages from 2020. So we see her being toxic and controlling 2 years before the crash. Peg says, I loved your deep dives into this case. You're doing a good job. My thoughts are she personally slammed into the passenger side and protected driver as much as possible. I agree. I could see what you mean. Yes, absolutely. And hey, Michelle, good to see you, love. I'm glad you made it. So she says, bet, can I come over in like 5 minutes? And that's at 7:34 a.m. Dom says, yeah. Mackenzie says, okay, I'm going to text you when I'm on the way. Would you be able to come scoop me right now? I'm trying to get a ride over, but no daycare. Parents have came yet. I'm panicking. Dom says, I don't know if I got time. Mackenzie says, just go really fast. It's only 7. You will be back by 7:55 if you come now. Dom says, I'm taking a shit. I got a shower and stuff though. My mom could have already left. And Mackenzie says, shit. And then she says, I think I got one. Hold up. I think I'm about to be on the way. And then she says, I'm here at 7:51 a.m. Dom says, nice. Mackenzie says, a daycare mom gave me a ride. LOL. Where you at? And Dom says, it said that Olivia girl was 120 pounds. She was way fatter than that. And then Mackenzie says, LMFAO, what are you talking about? And then she says the blank text, and Dom says, the missing girl. Mackenzie says, that's what I thought you were talking about. Do you know who she is? Dom says, no, LOL. Mackenzie says, oh, then how the F do you know she fatter than that, LMAO? And Dom says, I don't know, I was joking the pic, she looked chubby. And Mackenzie responds with, they got pics of her everywhere, like on the poles outside. Dom says, oh, damn, I thought she just ran away. That's sad. Mackenzie says, I have no clue what happened, but I seen her poster everywhere when I was on the way home. I hope she just ran away for real because it would be so scary if she got kidnapped. I need to per, P-E-R. I don't know what that means. And then she says, are you about to be done? Emphasized, are you about to be done? Dom says, come pee. I'm done. Oh, Mackenzie's saying I need to pee, not purse. So it was a typo, my bad. Mackenzie says, okay. And then she responds with, Dom, where Novo's at? Answer ASAP. Okay, I can't bring them then. I'm KMS. Oh, I'm on the way. So she did a typo and she corrects it. Dom says, sorry, they in the champs spa. My bad. Mackenzie says, I got them and I did it, babe. And I fell asleep and woke up at 10:24. I was like, shit. So I hit the bong and dipped the F out. I took a fat hit too. So she is literally talking about all these substances and whatnot. And she was just smoking and doing mushrooms at like 14, 15. So again, it just blows me away with her parents. But we learned a lot about her dad last night, if you didn't watch that. So make sure we found out last night that her dad was a smoker and he did allow her to smoke and drink vodka. Thanks, boss lady. Welcome. Good to have you. And then she says, I hit the bong and dipped the F out. I took a fat hit too. Dom says, yeah, I'm really tired. Mackenzie says, I have no clue how I woke up, like perfect timing. That shit was crazy. I got to go to class at like 3, 4. I was like zooming. Dom says, LOL. Mackenzie says, I'm hungry AF after school. Let's just get Chick-fil-A. Fries. And then Dom says, I don't know. Mackenzie says, what you feeling then? I want fries. Bruh, come back. It's awkward. He's tweaking. Okay, so after the fries, that conversation ends there. The next day on the 14th at 7:41 a.m., Mackenzie says, bruh, come back. It's awake. He tweaking. I'm sorry. That was the same day. It's still the same day, the 13th. And then Mackenzie says, okay, babe, I'm really going to sleep soon. Text me when you're up. She says, babe, I'm almost ready. Wake up soon. Before you do anything, do you think you could come get me? If not, I can probably wait for a parent, but I don't know if I can because my sister's being effing annoying. And then Mackenzie says, baby, try to come. I really need a ride. My mom is about to be home too. I need a ride. Oh my God, please just get me. Dom says, I'm taking a shit. Mackenzie says, bruh. Dom says, what? Mackenzie says, after you get me, and if I get a ride, I'll tell you. I'm salty AF. When will you be done? Like, you probably need to get me. I'm so effing mad. And that was on the 14th. And then Mackenzie says, I'm on the way. I got a ride. Dom says, yay. Yeah, I was going to get you after I get dressed. Just try not to be in a bad mood. Wow. Like, how exhausting, like, to be like Dom, right? Yeah. Dom and Mackenzie smoked. As I can figure, this girl was major abusive towards Dom. Yeah, she was. So he says, I'm trying not to be in a bad mood. Mackenzie says, get me, in caps. Wait. I'm so mad. I'm going to kill someone, says Mackenzie. I'm mad at as F right now. And I'm here. Dom says, why? Why are you so mad? Mackenzie says, like WTF, this whole morning, shit AF, I'll just explain soon. Are you getting in the shower? What do you want for breakfast? I'll go make you food. Dom says, Olive Garden would be dope. And then Mackenzie says, I don't know if I know how to make Olive Garden, babe. Any other ideas? And Dom says, leave the room. Mackenzie says, okay, question mark. What's going on? Is everything okay? Can I come back in soon too? There's no open outlet out here, Dom. Why are you acting like this? I didn't do anything. Dom doesn't respond. And then he finally says, I'm mad. Chill. I wouldn't want any freak out. I wouldn't want to freak out on you. See, you're just making me more mad now, says Dom. Mackenzie says, I'm not even doing anything. I'm just telling you there's not an open outlet to charge my phone. So if I can't charge it and I'm tweaking out, like I need my phone charged. I use my phone all day. Dom says, yeah, there is. She says, where? I'm in the kitchen or by the TV. I'm about to dip though, so you can come charge in a sec, said Dom. Mackenzie says, I'm in the living room. It's cold AF in the kitchen, so I'm sitting on the couch. This sucks. Mackenzie says, you feeling better? This Play-Doh sucks. Dom says, yeah, I'm kind of better. Mackenzie says, that's good. Did you end up getting to school? Dom says, yes. Mackenzie says, bet. I was hoping you when because you're going to feel better. I'm plowing through work. It just sucks so bad. LOL. Dom says, nice. Mackenzie says, I don't like the teacher in here right now at all. It's not the normal lady. Dom says, that's tough. I'm glad I didn't go to Play-Doh. Mackenzie says, she's the lady that was helping that slow kid all day that one day. There's no way I can do any more work and my phone is at 27. I'm effed. Dom says, that's plenty of battery. Just do stuff that you can't use your phone for. Mackenzie says, oh, true. And then she says, like WTF, academic success. Dom says, I don't know, flip through tutorials. Dom says, the questions on academic success so gay, LMFAO. Dom says, it's probably easy. Mackenzie says, it is what it is. Like, what should this person do? So easy, but gay. And Dom says, LOL. And then Mackenzie says, I'm about to take a final tomorrow, probably. Dom says, see how quick that is? Mackenzie says, right now I'm trying to leave. I'm tired. Dom says, I'm about to go get foods and I'm out. Mackenzie says, I'm waiting with Celeste. Where are you at? Dom says, what do you mean? And Mackenzie says, like, where are you? At 1:31, you said you're about to be out. And now it's 2:30 and you still not here. I'm confused. Dom says the N-word. School gets out at 2:25. Mackenzie says, LOL, just never mind. You go get it. Says, don't go get it. I was just confused because I feel like you would be here by now. Mackenzie says, let me come in. Sad face. Dom says, no, for now on, you just gotta go home after school and probably can't come before school. Mackenzie said, what? You can't do this to me. Dom says, if I asked you to go home, you would have threw a fit anyways. I already dipped. Mackenzie says, you better not have. Oh, there's going to be a huge issue. Dom says, why? Mackenzie says, you can't just F me over like this. If you left, I'm getting a ride to Carla's. And then Dom says, what? Mackenzie says, right now. Dom says, okay, bet, get a ride there. And then she says, where are you? Dom says, because I probably won't even be there yet. Mackenzie says, you're so mean for no reason. I don't deserve it. Okay, I'm going to start walking. Dom says, okay, bet. Mackenzie says, I'll catch up to you. Dom says, okay, try. Mackenzie says, if you leave me, I'm going to flip out. Dom says, I'm way too far. I wouldn't even try. Mackenzie says, who does this shit? Dom says, I don't know. Just get a ride. Mackenzie says, you're mean. You treat me like shit. And I treat you like an effing god. And you do this. I'm uncleaning your room. Dom says, no, you just smother me. How interesting. Like, it's so interesting to see this. Let me go back to what you guys are saying. Mackenzie just said this about Dom being suicidal. Isn't he covering? She's covering for herself when it happens to make it look like he did it. She is very shrewd. I agree. And then let's continue with the text messages. So Mackenzie says, I'm unclean your room. And Dom says, no, you just smother me. Mackenzie says, I'm uncleaning your room again. And when you're there, I'm getting a ride over. Dom says, I'm breaking up with you. So this is in 2020, prior to the accident, and they're already talking about breaking up. Well, Dom wanted out of that relationship, and I think that he wanted out of that relationship around the time that the crash happened. So then Mackenzie says, no. Dom says, yes. She says, no again. Don't. Dom says, just let me go to Carl's then. Mackenzie says, don't again. Don't again for the third time. Why do you do this to me? Dom says, and let me not chill with you when I don't want to. Wow. He's like, leave me alone. Stop smothering me, pretty much. Mackenzie says, you never told me to go. You're so mean. You are so mean and show me no love anymore. Dom says, I knew if I would, you just get mad, so I attempted to avoid it. Okay, if you really think that, then okay. Mackenzie says, you know how much I love and care about you, and I get this. I was just trying to make you effing happy and feel better. Dom says, I'm too bipolar. You just not talk to me. Mackenzie says, but no, you make me feel like I'm nothing for no reason. Why do you think I hate myself so much? Dom says, you make me feel like I have to do everything with you or I'm doing something wrong. Why you think I'm always mad? Mackenzie says, I effing hate myself. I'm ugly, and you just add on to it and make me feel even uglier. That is interesting. The self-confidence here for Mackenzie is wild. So then she says, you make me feel even uglier. Like, how can you just leave me and walk away like that? It's effed up. Dom says, now you just sound dumb. Mackenzie says, you make me feel like I'm worthless. I do so much shit for you, and you just don't care and shit on me. Dom says, see here's the thing though, is you don't have to do anything for me, and I would probably be happy. Mackenzie says, now I'm at your effing house breaking down on your floor. Like, you cause pain to me for no reason, and then you wonder why I'm so stressed. I'm trying so hard to please you, but it's never enough. And Dom says, it's because you never distance yourself at all. Wow. It's so wild to see this is how they were acting in 2020, 2 years prior to the crash. And Dom already wanted out. He must have really known how she was to not get out of that relationship. Mackenzie says, no, I'm here alone when I need you the most again. You can't even be there for me ever. You just let me cry. How can you make someone cry till they can't feel anything and not care? I just want to bang my head on the wall till I'm dead. And Dom says, to be honest, this shit has happened so many times, I just don't care anymore. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm really starting to believe that Mackenzie had mental health issues. Like, I know she's evil, and I know we want to believe what we want to believe about her in that crash and whether it was intentional or not. We're all entitled to our own opinion, but this is really concerning for a 14, 15-year-old girl to be like freaking out like this. And Dom's like, this has just happened so many times, I just don't care anymore. Mackenzie says, what shit? You making me cry because you're mean. Yeah, that does happen too much. Maybe you should treat the girl who would die for you a little better, because when I'm effing gone, you're going to miss me. And Dom says, I really would. Mackenzie says, be nice to the people who love you, because sometimes I can't take the hate you give. And now I'm here all alone. And Dom says, I wish I was alone. That is so wild. He says, I'm never alone. That's why I want to get rid of this house. I can just be myself when I want to. Mackenzie says, yes, you are blocked. Yes, you are. Blocked me for a whole weekend and left me wondering if I was going to lose you. You didn't ask me today. Dom says, no, you spammed me this whole weekend. If I block you, you just spam me more. And then we don't get anywhere. Mackenzie says, if you just was like, oh, Kenzie, babe, can I chill alone today? I'm in a bad mood and I don't want to make you sad. Dom said, that's why this is happening again. Mackenzie says, I would have just went somewhere else after I got there. Dom says, okay, Kenz, I'm in a bad mood. Go home. Dom says, Mackenzie says, but you don't ask for space. You just make me feel like shite. Dom says, no, I did. I did this morning. Mackenzie says, when? Dom says, and then I was in a bad mood when I got back. and then you make it worse. Mackenzie says, me? Dom says, yes. Wow, you're effing mean. You tell me I push all my friends away and tell me I make you mad all day. This is why I am depressed, said Mackenzie. Dom says, it's 2:30. Why aren't you home? Maybe because I get out at 2:25. Mackenzie says, this is why I just want to effing unalive myself. I woke up confused. Stop being a DICK to me. Dom says, this conversation is ending. I'm close to Carl's. Mackenzie says, wow, I'm so mad at you. The convo isn't over. And she's typing in caps. Dom says, why? Mackenzie says, why? Are you kidding me right now? You just left me here, didn't say bye, then made me feel like nothing for no reason. Dom says, I'll see you later. Mackenzie says, like, yay, now I just get to stay alone. Dom says, no, you can go somewhere else. Or maybe just come to Carl's. Mackenzie says, with you? I'll just effing sleep till you're back. I'm mad AF. I'm having bad thoughts. Thanks. Dom says, no, go home. Mackenzie said, you just said I'll see you later. Dom says, yeah, I can still see you later. And Mackenzie says, and I'm crying talking to Angelo about the shit you won't talk to me about. How? Dom says, yeah, you have him drive you home. Mackenzie says, I don't think my dad is home yet. I'll text my mom. I'm crying so hard right now. Dom says, that's so fried. Mackenzie says, what's effing fried? You being mean to me? Dom says, you crying. Mackenzie says, it's about so much shit. I literally hate myself. I have to go to the doctor about my stomach and I'm scared. Dom says, same. Mackenzie says, you're putting more stress on me when I just need your love. Dom says, same. Mackenzie says, really? I'm mean to you? Ever? You are the mean one. You're the one making me go home when I'm crying my ass off. Dom says, no. Stress. Sorry, if you were just home in the first place, you wouldn't be crying. And Mackenzie says, well, now I have to effing leave because I don't want anyone in my house to see I'm crying. And now I have to go home and be alone again and have nothing to do, then go chill with Phil and hit a vape. And I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to go home and see my messy room or my house or anyone in my family. Dom says, nothing I can do right now. Mackenzie says, let me stay and this will all be chill. Like I'll do anything to stay. I won't bother you while I'm there. Dom says, that's exactly what I don't want to do. Mackenzie says, come on, please. Let me stay. I'll leave you alone while you're at Carl's. This is so crazy. She's so annoying. She's trying to guilt trip him into coming back. Exactly, Michelle. Exactly. Very toxic. Then she says, I'm having a straight breakdown right now. Dom says, I didn't go to Carl's. I didn't bring any of their shit. I want to come back and grab it. Mackenzie says, then where are you? Then come get it. Dom says, well, I don't want you there. Mackenzie says, what if I go to Angelo's, to Kohl's, then you can come get the stuff and I'll be gone. How far are you? Dom says, I'm not very far. Mackenzie says, that'll work then. Can I just go with him there and you can just come back and I'll be back when you're gone? Please? Dom says, why do you have to be there? Why can't you just be gone? Said Dom. Mackenzie says, I don't want to go home. Sad face, sad face. Dom says, why? Mackenzie says, because my room is a mess and it stresses me out. This is wild to me because last night we were seeing how controlling and abusive, verbally abusive she was to her dad. So I feel like now we're seeing it with Dom. And she always threatens to freak out and unalive herself and do all this crazy stuff if she doesn't get her way. And then she says, it's really stressing me out. It's bad there right now. Me and my mom fighting. Okay, well, 1, clean your room, Mackenzie. And 2, you and your mom are fighting. Okay, so maybe that relationship we're seeing on the phone calls, maybe it wasn't so good with your mom. And then Dom says, of course you are. Mackenzie says, please, babe. Dom says, so now it's my problem. Mackenzie says, no, it's not. Dom says, it is, isn't it? Mackenzie says, you're my only supporter. I'll be cool when you back. Dom says, that's too much pressure. Mackenzie says, I won't bring it up. Dom says, that's not going to happen. Mackenzie says, you and Nat, she can't be around me. It will. Promise. Please, Dom, let me stay. I'll be gone when you come back to get the shit. Please, please, please. Dom says, I will have to walk all the way back to Carl's, though. And Mackenzie says, I thought that's what you wanted. Hey, Mallory, good to see you. And then Mackenzie says, I thought that's what you wanted. Please let me stay. I'll go with Angelo, then you can come get the stuff. Dom, please. He needs to go, please. It will be good. Dom says, just go with him then. Mackenzie says, okay, I am. Come back. I'll say when I'm back home. I'm gone. I'll be back in 20 minutes to go get the stuff. Did you leave yet? Babe, where are you at now? Dom, babe, where are you at? Dom says, why? Mackenzie says, I just want to know. I get worried and shit like, did you make it to Carl's? I'm chilling right now. I'm kind of tired. Just tell me. Come on, don't be like this, please. Dom says, I never came back. I might go back to grab the bud, though. Mackenzie says, where are you? Please tell me. Dom says, Carl's. Dom says, oh, okay. Or Mackenzie says, oh, okay, good. Are you here? Your mom said you're here. Dom says, yeah, just got here. Mackenzie says, when you going to be back? Dom says, are the steaks done? Mackenzie says, ask Angelo. I'm really hungry and my head hurts really bad. I don't want to get up. And then she sends a screenshot of something. My doctor's appointment at 10:30 tomorrow, babe. I'm just going to come over after. Dom says, okay, good luck. Mackenzie says, I'm worried. Sad face. Dom says, it'll be fine. What if we sold clothes off Amazon and not to those other sites? We can sell anything on Amazon. Mackenzie said, really? That would be cool too. Might puke again. I feel shitty. Dom says, damn, I'm sorry, babe. Are you okay? Mackenzie says, I feel weird. Dom says, are you okay? Mackenzie says, yeah, I just woke up and I'm going at 10:15. I'm so scared. Dom says, you'll be fine. Mackenzie says, I'm praying for real. I woke up and my stomach just hurt already. Dom says, you'll be good. Next morning, Mackenzie says, I'm on the way right now. How's school? That was at 10:18 a.m. Dom says, pretty good. What are you doing? Mackenzie says, I'm waiting to get in right now. I'm scared. Dom says, you'll be good. Mackenzie says, I'm there right now. Anything happened yet? Says Dom. Mackenzie says, no, we waiting on the doctor. This sucks. Dom says, tough. Mackenzie says, right? I'm so worried. Dom says, you'll be cool. She says, we just talking about it right now. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with me. Dom says, you'll be fine. I see Vinny walking all the time with Audrey, so it's awkward. Mackenzie says, ew, I'll say something to Vinny. Why does it bother you? Dom says, because like Vinny just stares at me, LOL. Mackenzie says, WTF, I'll beat the shit out of Audrey and Vinny. Dom says, why? Just let them be, LOL. And Mackenzie says, So I have to sneeze. Yes, it is so unreal and disgusting, Mallory. So Mackenzie says, And then Dom says, Vinny just texts me, like WTF just happened. Mackenzie says, I told him not to bring Audrey around you. Dom says, when am I ever around Vinny? Mackenzie says, I don't know. I have to pee for an STD test and pregnancy and UTI. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the bless yous. Okay, so Mackenzie's at the doctor's and she's there for her stomach. So I'm wondering if she thought maybe at some point she was pregnant or something was wrong with her. So she says, I have to pee for an STD test and pregnancy and UTI. I'm so scared right now. OMG. Dom says, why are you crying? You're going to be fine. Mackenzie says, I'm scared. Like, what if I have one of those? Dom says, you probably don't. She says, I literally pray I don't. I'm begging to be fine. Dom says, you'll be fine. Don't be mean to Vinny, though. Mackenzie says, Dom, I'm not pregnant. And I don't F with Vinny anymore. Dom says, I know you weren't pregnant. Who cares? He's 14 and probably just has a boner. Mackenzie laughs. I was so worried. They testing me for STDs right now. Dom says, LOL. She says, that might be from stress and constipation. LOL. Dom says, probably. Mackenzie says, I don't know why I feel like crap, though. Dom says, I don't know. I just hope it's all good soon. Mackenzie says, I'm getting an x-ray right now. I can still come over after this, right? Dom says, when I might want to chill with Sheen for a little bit. When I might want to chill with Sheen for a little bit. Mackenzie says, like at 12, I'll probably be done. I'm waiting for this x-ray right now. I wonder what's going to show up. I'm done. Can I come over? Dom. And then he says, I'm not home. I know. Can I come over right now? I'm just going to sleep, probably. Dom says, but I'm a chill with Sheen, 8th period. Mackenzie says, so is that a no for right now? I'm confused. Dom says, yeah. Mackenzie says, okay, so I can come over after he leaves, though. What time is he dipping? Dom says, yeah. Okay, did you see what I sent on my Instagram? She says, LOL. Dom says, no, when? Maybe. She says, LOL, I sent it when I was at the doctor. Are you chilling with Devin right now? Dom says, not yet. Mackenzie says, I literally feel so shitty. They just told me not to be stressed. Like, give me something that makes me feel better. This sucks. Dom says, who? Dom says, so are you okay? Mackenzie says, the doctor. It's stress and intestine issues from smoking. Wow. Dom says, I told you to smoke less. She says, like the stress is making a lot of stomach acid and shit, and you were pretty much right about the weed. You so smart. Dom says, probably more about the vaping. Yeah, true. And it's like slowing down my intestines a little, so it's making me even more crappy. I haven't smoked today, though. Like, I feel like I'm a puke right now. Dom says, do you feel better when you smoke? Mackenzie says, I mean, yeah, low key only when it's a lot, though. When is he leaving? Babe, no response. Dom? Dom says, I don't know. Mackenzie says, I want to come over soon. Don't smoke a backwood without me. Please? I'm bored. And then she says, Dom? He says, we all ballin'. Mackenzie says, who's all? Can I come watch? Dom says, no, just me, Devin, and Blair. Mackenzie says, come on, you said yesterday I could come over during the day. Then now you say I can't. I just want to come over. I'm sick of being here. Let me come before 3 at least, please. Dom says, it'll be soon. Sorry, babe. No, probably after. Then she says, that's not soon. I'll literally watch. I'm so bored. Please. Okay, just let me come at 3:10 or now, ... Dom says, no, in a little. Come on, she says. I'm so bored. A little is like 1 effing hour for you. This shit is stressing me out. Just let me come like right now. Dom, it's literally been so long. Let me come. Answer me. I'm getting so mad. You said it will be soon and you had me waiting for over an hour. This stresses me out and that's the last thing I need right now. It's time to let me come. Dom says, Kenzie, come on. We literally just went through this the other day. Yes, and you said soon I can come. You said I can come during the day and I just said okay when you said no. Or when you said let me chill with Sheen. Dom says, soon to you is way shorter than soon to me. Mackenzie says in caps, soon isn't 3 effing hours. Soon is 10 to 30 minutes. Just let me come, Dom. You're just giving me more stress for no reason. Let me come. Let me. Dom says, soon is like 1 hour. Mackenzie says, it's been an hour and a half. Let me come. Dom says, blank text. Mackenzie says, question mark, question mark. Just let me come. I don't see what the issue is. I let you chill with them when you said you would chill with me. You said soon. I say, okay, now it's time. I'm going to have an effing mental breakdown. Dom says, we literally just went through this the other day and you still never listen. Mackenzie says, went through what? You said we can hang out today. Dom says, we can. This is at 3:26 p.m. Mackenzie says, oh, now you can't even talk on the phone? I'm so stressed right now. Dom says, I don't want to get mad. It's been 2 hours since you said soon, Mackenzie says. Dom says, actually, I already am. Please, just let me come now. I'm bored and I've just been sitting and waiting. You can play basketball. I don't care. I'll just watch you. I want to come over. Why do you have to get mad when I just want to be around you? Sad face. No response. So she says, answer. Question mark, question mark. Just let me come, Dom. Just let me. I'm literally begging you. I'm supposed to not have stress. This is just making it worse. Please. Dom says, of course. You just put it on me. And then she sends screenshots of probably text between them. You said a little was at 3:02. And Dom says, it's been 20 minutes. Mackenzie says, nothing is funny. Dom says, that's barely enough time to take a crap. Mackenzie says, of me sitting on the phone waiting for you to tell me I can come. A little is like 5 to 10 minutes so. Dom says, you should be able to do something else. Mackenzie says, well, I effing hate my house, so no. Dom says, like they leaving soon, and now I just spent all that time texting you. Mackenzie says, so what? I'm important to you just like you're important to me. When are they leaving? Mackenzie says, stop. Please don't do this to me. I'm not even trying to argue with you. I literally just sit in your room if you want me to. Dom says, you can come in a little, okay? Stop being so frustrating. Mackenzie says, how long? I'm not trying to, sorry. Dom says, half hour. Mackenzie says, what? At effing 4? Dom says, 4:03. Mackenzie says, Dom, no. Why do you do this? Dom says, what do you mean? Stop, it's okay. Mackenzie says, no, it's not. Dom says, I can't take this. Mackenzie says, you keep saying soon. I get all hyped to leave. Then when you say not now, then soon, then wait. I'm coming over at 4:03. Dom says, okay. Mackenzie say, no, saying sooner. Or wait, I'm texting you when I'm on the way. This shit isn't okay. I'm sick AF right now and I need the least stress I can. Just try to chill, bring angry at me. Dom says, I'm sorry, but you know I'm bipolar. Interesting. That is interesting. So I wonder if that really is true. Hey, Chantel, good to see you. I wonder if he really did have bipolar disorder. We haven't heard anything of that. I know I've heard stuff about her. She's a freaking psycho. I know. Mackenzie says, I know it just makes me stress. Just try to stop because my stomach is effed up. I'll tell you in detail about this when I'm over at your house at 4:03. Dom says, okay. You can come at 4:02 if you want. Mackenzie says, yay. Okay, babe. I will come then. Dom says, okay, if this will really make you happy, 4:01 would work. Mackenzie says, yay. And then Dom says, want to get some food? Mackenzie says, yes, I have to eat high fiber food, so I'm down. Dom says, maybe Olive Garden? Mackenzie says, yes. Dom says, did they tell you what to eat? No, they just said high fiber food. Dom says, okay, we'll figure it out. Probably like bananas and fruit. Mackenzie says, yeah, I have to drink this gross ass stuff. I sent it to you on Insta. Dom says, avocado is really good in fiber. I looked it up. It's literally just like everything that's good for you, like fruits, nuts, and seeds. Mackenzie says, okay, I love fruit. I'm wearing jammies over. Dom says, LOL. Mackenzie says, you got to feel my stomach. It's so effed up. I'm coming soon. Dom says, yeet. Mackenzie says, LOL, on my way. Where are you at? Can I come out or are you coming back? I effing hate my house. Text me when you're up. Oh, so that was on the 15th, by the way. I forgot to tell you guys. So she probably goes over there. And then she says, I effing hate my house the next day on the 15th, January 15th, 2020. Text me when you're up, babe. Wakey, let me know when I can come in. Dom says, can you bring me shorts? Mackenzie says, what ones? I can. FaceTime me. Babe. Okay, I sent you a pic of shorts on Snap. I have to walk at 25, so answer. Dom says, just bring me a short pair. Mackenzie says, look at Insta. I don't want to bring the wrong ones. Dom says, I need shoes too. She says, what shoes? LOL, look at Insta. I finished a whole Play-Doh thing. I just need to take final. I might leave soon. What time are you coming back? Dom says, after 8. Just home now with Sheen, about to go back. Mackenzie says, okay, LOL. Some shit and might go down up here. Gracie and Bianca both up here. I feel so sick. Dom says, LOL. Go home then. Mackenzie says, I'm coming to your house after this period. I'm leaving at 3:30 though because I work. I'm leaving in like 2 minutes. Thanks for smoking without me. Sad face. Dom says, what do you mean? You're not even supposed to smoke a lot. And I left some so we can smoke when I get back. Mackenzie says, it's fine. And I know I just want to smoke bad right now. Dom says, hit the bong. Mackenzie says, your room got so boxed, I opened a window for you. Dom says, pick whatever weed you want. Make yourself some food, probably too. That would smack. Mackenzie says, I just ate. LOL. Dom says, LOL. She says, your room is really cloudy, so I'm going to wait to go in. Dom says, yeah, that's the move. Mackenzie says, LMAO, I don't know what else to eat though. Dom says, I don't know, there should be stuff there. Mackenzie says, I got a banana. He says, nice. She says, I'm there right now. And he says, nice. She says, I'm scared. He says, LOL. She says, I'm scared. Why? LOL. Mackenzie says, this is so hard. This is so hard. It's about to be lit with Carl. Maddie and Phil came to see me. We chill in 1 hour. Dom says, I have practice. Mackenzie says, when? He says, 8. You know, I'm just wondering as we read these things, why did he stay with her? I'm just really wondering. Hey, Ende Corso, just joined your channel. Love it so much already. Thank you. We're happy to have you here. It's the text from the girl who drove into a wall and unalived her boyfriend. Yes. Why didn't he leave her? I'm just wondering, like, being so young, I get it, like leaving a bad relationship, how hard that is, especially if you love the person. But like, if this was going on back then, you know, by the time 22 came along and the crash happened, like, I can't imagine how bad it was. He's already telling her, like, I can't handle this. I'm going to unalive myself. They're having issues. Someone says trauma bonded. I know why he stayed. Same reason we always stay longer than we should. I'm shook. And the parents from both sides allowed it. I know you can't really control what your 18-year-old does, but like, she was 14, 15 around this time. Mackenzie says, damn, really? Can we chill till 8 then? Dom says, yeah. Where are you at right now? She says, Carl's. Mackenzie says, this kid and me talking, and he showed me his girl. So I was like, this is my baby. And he was like, oh, wow. He looked like a god. I'm coming to Carl's at 7. I want to hang. Dom says, no, we leaving Carl's. Kyle has to leave. Mackenzie says, okay, where will you be at 7? Dom says, home. Mackenzie says, okay, bet, I'll be there. I'm a change, then come. I'm off right now. Dom says, okay, I'm on the way home now. Mackenzie says, yay. Night, babe. Good night. So that was on 1/16 at 11:58. So she looks like she went over and then she sends him a good night text. The next day, she says, I think I know why I'm itchy. This is on 1/16/2020. Mackenzie says, I'm allergic to cats, and that's where Jim sleeps, and I low-key got hives on my face, too. Dom says, oh, maybe. Mackenzie says, yeah, I'm like itchy right now. I have hella little dots on my right side of my face. Dom says, I don't know, wash yourself. Mackenzie says, yeah, I know. How's that salad? LOL. Dom says, kind of old. Mackenzie says, I feel it. Salad low-key sounds good right now. I didn't mean to type right after. LOL. And that was on the 17th. And then in the morning, she says, text me when you're up, babe. I need to leave to get a ride for a parent. You need to answer. Dom, oh my God, I need to catch a ride. Answer. OMFG, I'm panicking. Answer the phone. I'm just going to come over next parent that's here. Okay, I'm coming over. You can't be mad. I'm for real. You can't just be doing this to me for real. I need to come over in the morning and you know that. Where are you? I'm like half asleep. And then she says, WOTK, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. WTF, now I'm awake. Where are you at? Where are you at? Bruh, Carl called off. It's just me and 2 older dudes. I'm bummed. Also, that weird ass Dom kid is sitting in front of Taco Bell, LMAO. And then Dom finally responds with, damn, that sucks. You mean the meme page kid? Mackenzie says, yes. He came up to me and was like, hey, Kenzie. Dom says, LOL. Mackenzie says, I'm having fun, low key. The manager cool, and I just met a girl named Mackenzie too. Haha. Dom says, that's dope. She says, bruh, they just told me about more nasty shit about the Chinese place. Dom says, what about it? Bruh, the guy who passed the sample doesn't wash his hands when he uses the bathroom. That's literally so effing nasty. Like, why? She says, come get food from the mall and say hi to me, babe. Dom says, I have no way to go there. Mackenzie says, aren't you with Eric and Tyler? When you with them, come see your babe working. And then Dom says, I'm not. And I'm not taking all that time. Mackenzie says, oh, ALR. I don't know what that means. And then Dom says, I'm sorry, babe. I'm sad. Mackenzie says, why are you sad? We can talk about it tonight if you want. Dom says, I'm not sad anymore. I forgot why. Well, I probably know why. I'm off. Can I come chill? That's good that you're not sad anymore, she says. Answer. Okay, I'm a shower when I'm home. Maybe you will want to hang out after. It's Friday. I can be out late too. Dom? He says, okay. She says, I'll text you after shower. I just got home. I'm out. What are you doing right now? Did you go, babe? Dom says, yeah, I'm driving. Mackenzie says, oh, sorry. When do you think you're going to be back at your house? I want to chill soon because I miss you. Babe, text me back. Dom? Question mark. Dom says, I don't know. I'm going to smoke with Eric and Carl. Can I come? She says. No, sorry. That's gay AF. Okay, we'll try to be home before 12. But I want to chill tonight, or I can just come over tomorrow morning. Dom, answer. He says, I don't know if I can be home before then. Can I just come early tomorrow then? That sucks, for real. I wanted to hang. What are you doing right now? And Dom says, smoking a wood. I don't know. I have basketball. Mackenzie says, damn, without me again? LOL. What time, baby? Or what time is basketball, baby? I'll just stay over at your house. Dom says, sorry, it's a honeyberry too. Mackenzie says, damn, I'm coming over in the morning. I'm asleep. Have fun, babe. I'll call you in the morning. So then that was on January 17, 2020 at 11:34 p.m. The next morning at 2:54 a.m., Dom says, I just crashed my mom's car. Oh, let me see. Oh, my favorite person. My favorite person in the world is here. Hector. Make sure you guys check out that Prison Guard. One of my favorite channels on YouTube. He is the absolute best. Thank you, Hector. Appreciate and love you for super chatting me. Everyone go check him out. That Prison Guard. But you can't have him. He's mine. Jersey says they break up to make up. Yeah, he strung her along for years. Maybe he should have manned up and said goodbye. I'm still just shocked about these text messages. And okay, I don't want to be mean. I'm not victim blaming. I'm not saying anything mean about Dom, but I feel like, is he kind of toxic too? Like getting those toxic vibes? Like, why does he keep saying like, okay, yeah, come over. And if he's trying to leave her and then he keeps telling her like, okay, come over, 401, 402. Like, I'm sorry, that just kind of feels like he's kind of playing into it. Really. So he says, I just crashed my mom's car. Mackenzie says, stop. Are you okay? Babe, I'm worried AF now. Holy shit. I'm so worried. I'm stressing the F out. I'm crying. I'm scared. LOL, there's no way I'm about to sleep anytime soon now. I'm worried. Please answer. Okay, just text me ASAP when you're wakey, babe. I'm worried. And then she says, blank text, please, babe, are you up? Please just text me when you're up and let me come over. I'm so stressed. I'm praying you're okay. Babe? And then he finally says, yeah, I'm fine. What is with her? Both of them are toxic, says Witch. Obsessed, exactly. He was probably fed up going up to her level. Yeah, just because he isn't saying much doesn't mean he isn't feeling the madness. He didn't care about her. So why not break up? I mean, they weren't married. They didn't have a child together. I think, can I say something, and just don't get upset with me, but I think their lifestyle, like I think we don't know, we know who Steve and Natalie Shirilla are, her parents. We have seen that through the calls, the documents, all of the above. What we see is what we get, right? We know Christine Russo also, and I just feel like their lifestyle of substance abuse, and I think that ties them together a lot of the time too. You know, like their parents, whatever's going on in their home life, like this is concerning. She's like, I hate being home. And he's like, kind of in the same boat, I feel like. And I'm just wondering when they both started using substances. This is kind of sad. So young and so toxic. So Dom says, yeah, I'm fine. Mackenzie says, babe, let me come over right now. I've been worried all night. I can come right now. Please, I miss you. Dom says, let me just chill alone for a bit. Sad face. You were all alone last night. You said we could chill in the morning, and I've been straight crying, worried about you. But whatever, Dom. What time can I come then? I want to know what happened. Dom said, I slid and hit a sign. That's it. The whip pretty effed, though. Mackenzie says, oh no, I'm just glad you're not hurt. I was so scared. What time can I come over? Do you have whiplash or anything? Dom, text me when you're awake. I want to come see you. Please let me come when you're up. Okay, babe, I'm going to the mall. As soon as you wake up, hit me up and I'll get you some food. Dom says, okay, I'll probably just make bagels, to be honest. Mackenzie says, okay, LOL, when do you want to chill? I can bring you Cane's or Charlie's, babe. If not, I'll just go to the mall if not, I'll just not go to the mall if you want to hang out right now. Answer, because I'm driving right now. Dom says, no, I got to eat breakfast and get ready. Mackenzie says, ready for what? Are you going to basketball? Dom says, yeah. Okay, good. Text me when you get home. Are you there right now? Dom says, it's at 3. Dom says, okay, Gracie wants a cart later too. Dom says, I won't be able to drive. Okay, what about Angelo's car? She says. Dom says, I just got in a car accident. The roads are really bad. I'm not driving. I just gave my mom bad insurance. Mackenzie says, I understand. I feel bad. I'm just happy you're okay, for reals. Dom says, if I slid off a different road, I could have died. I slid like 20, 30 feet. Mackenzie says, holy shit, that's so scary. How did you start sliding? What street were you on? Dom says, I was going less than 20 miles per hour too, and I slid far. Mackenzie says, when I woke up and seen the text, I started crying. I thought you were in the hospital because you stopped answering. Was it snowing when you were driving? Dom says, oh, that would be so sad. Yeah, it was. Mackenzie says, right, because I was worried. I texted Angela because you didn't answer, and he's like, Dom is sleeping like a baby, which made me happy to know you were okay. Dom says, I think I'm fine. We just hit a sign. My back is a little sore, though, but it's been sore. So Mackenzie says, I'll give you a massage when I come over. And who was all there? I'm so happy you're okay. I can't even say how happy I am. Dom says, I just wish it was my car and not my mom's. Now she has to get a rental. Mackenzie says, how effed is the car? Do you have pics? Is it like undrivable? Dom says, the bottom bumper is dragging and the front is effed up. So yeah, it's not good, but it's not like you need a whole new car. You can just get a new one. Oh, it's not like you need a whole new car. You can just get a new one. Mackenzie says, damn, you guys are so lucky you're all okay. Dom says, yeah, I'm glad I'm driving down Pearl to Carl's house. Like, what if I was on Shermer and Boston? That shit would have been effed. Mackenzie says, oh my God, did the cops show up or did you all just drive away? What are you doing now, babe? Send me a pic of the front of your mom's car. Dom says, I don't feel like it really snowy. Mackenzie says, when you leave for practice, show me then. After practice, I can bring you food. Dom says, okay, I'm going to have Marco drive me somewhere after, though. Just to Xavier's, and that's it. It seems like he never wants to hang out with her, right? Like, this is her boyfriend. And he doesn't want to hang out with her. Now she's crying again. Wonder how many times she'll tell him that. She's so pushy. Are you guys exhausted? I feel like we're in the relationship with Mackenzie and Dom here. Abuelita says, Melly is the first to get the text messages. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Thank you, Abuelitas. Exactly. One of them was committed to the crime. Who cares if Dom was an A sometimes? It's true. That's true. I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm just like, stop asking to come over. Like, let's just share a little moment. We've all had an ex like this, right? An obsessed ex who just like tries to control you and run your life and be your life. Like, let's not remember being with someone in a relationship means you want to be a part of their life, not be their life. Some good relationship advice from Ellie. But no, really, like, I'm exhausted. Just like, if I was getting these text messages, I would be like, you're blocked. You're blocked. Shuck says, no doubt she's sad, but Dom says but Dom just seems done and numb from the pain that she has caused before this day. He wanted her gone. And he still was with her for 2 years after. I don't get it. Dom is 3 to 4 years older. She was only like 15, 16 here. I was saying you get time out, you're late. I'm just like, wow. Okay, so she says, okay, it takes me a minute to get food and leave anyways. Dom says, okay. Maybe another place on the way too. Mackenzie says, I got some clothes and who? LOL. Dom says, what? Mackenzie says, I got some cute clothes and where else are you stopping? Maddie and Grace got robbed. Dom says, bruh, how? Mackenzie says they were with these dudes and they went to Walmart to pee and then the dudes drove away with all their stuff. Maddie's whole bag with her card and personal stuff and Gracie's personal stuff. And I don't know, Maddie asked you for a ride. I'm glad you didn't answer. When are you going to be home? Dom says soon. She says, I can come over when you're home, right? Dom says, yeah, but I got to drop that. Mackenzie says, okay, I'll just wait at your house for you. I don't need to come. Do you want some type of food? I need to dip before 5 because they asked if I could work today. And I said, no, I have a party for family. Dom says, probably not. I don't feel that good. She says, okay, I'll be home when you're home then. I'll be there when you're home then. I'm going to come see you as soon as I'm home. Babe, she says, where are you at right now? Dom says, I'm still waiting for X to text me back. Sorry, babe. Mackenzie says, sad face. You sure I can't just come over and chill there when you leave? Wow. She's like, she's literally saying like, I'll come hang out with her. You don't have to be there. I just want to be there. Like, really controlling. This is insane. I feel like they act with, yeah, which she continues to go to the hole for breaking rules. Yeah, she does. She's very draining, manipulative. He's had enough. She's a pain. He had a hard time getting rid of her. Everyone knows that everyone has their fun with them at all times and they expect a response immediately, and it's ridiculous. Yeah, possessive. Good word. Very possessive witch. So she says, are you sure I can't just come over right now and chill when you leave? Okay, I just want to come soon. I miss you. Question mark. Dom says, okay, babe, I'm gonna leave soon and then we can smoke woods. This is on January 18th, 2020. The suspense will be worth it. Mackenzie says, okay, baby, I'll just be at home. Just hit me when you back. He says, okay. Then she says later at 5:33 p.m., you gonna be home soon, babe? He says, yeah, on the way. Okay, text me when you are home. I'll be over ASAP. Are you home? Not yet. How far are you? Mall, he said. Where did you go? Xavier's house is not even over there. Dom says, I know. He never answered. Mackenzie says, oh, where did you end up going then? Where are you at? Dom says, making money. I'm sorry. Again, this is interesting. You know, when we talk about what they were doing with the substances and selling and how we read that document last night about Mackenzie, you know, being a rug dealer. Dom was a rug dealer for a long time. I mean, we're just going to say what it really was. Like, I feel for him that he was in this situation, but, you know, I'm just wondering, like, how long they had been doing all this stuff for. Full of Catitude says, Mackenzie cannot be alone for 1 minute. I'm just, at some point, he probably did love her, but she was too easy to anger and too controlling. She made him miserable. So sad. How dare he go to the mall without checking with her first? Oh, so bad. Give the man some space. We're all even feeling smothered by just reading these. Can you guys imagine how Dom felt? Like, I'm literally like, wow, how could he have dated her for 4 years? Like, this is really wild. He says, making money, I'm sorry. Mackenzie says, you said you're just going to be home soon. Sad face. Where else do you have to go? Dom says, a couple more stops. Like where? Can I just come through and wait at your house? When are you going to be back? For real? How far are you? Dom says, I'm trying. It'll be soon. Can I just come over and wait? I've been waiting since 5. It's been like 2 hours. Will you be there at 7 or can I just come at 7? This effing sucks. Dom says, hold up. I got one more sale. Ah, there it is. There it is. This is what the detectives was looking for. Well, other than that, she's freaking crazy. Okay, so then she says, OMFG. I'm so annoyed. Just let me come over right now. Shake my head. Mackenzie says, you've been had one more cell, like question mark. Again. Dom says, okay, I'm going to be home in like 6 minutes. Mackenzie says, whatever, shake my head. You better hit me up when you're home. Like as soon as you pull in your driveway. Where are you? And the least you can at least answer text because I know you're not the one driving. Dom says, okay, come through. She says, okay, on the way. Where are you at? Dom says, kitchen. Mackenzie says, why are you taking 30 minutes to come back? I can't tell you how effing tired I am of waiting for you. How much longer are you going to make me wait again? Another 2 hours? Dom says, you can come out here. Mackenzie says, you could just come back in here. It's cold out there. I don't get why you have to do this shit to me. I'm just getting more mad, like WTF. Dom says, bring a blanket or I'll come back soon. Mackenzie says, what are you even doing? Like, why have you been out there for 30 minutes? I just don't get it. I've been so chill about you not hanging out with me these last couple days, and this is what I get when I finally come over. Dom says, I'm eating. So that was on the 18th at 8:14 p.m. Then Dom says, I'm eating animal cookies. You want to watch TV out here? Mackenzie says, well, now I'm just in an effing bad mood. No one cares about effing anything, so I don't give an F what we do anymore. Dom says, can you try to be in a better mood? Okay, I know she's being like really touchy and desperate and controlling and possessive and psychotic and toxic, but also like, is Dom playing a little bit of games here? I feel like, you know, she's smothering him, but I feel like why? Like, why are you doing this? Can you be in a better mood? Like, you know, she's not going to be. Laura says she's so needy and immature. He's just grew up. Her mom should have been a mom and not want to be a friend. I agree. Dom's mom thinks Dom made money working with people in the studio. I don't think so. Full-time rug dealer was his occupation. You know what? To each their own. To each their own. Don't judge me. I won't judge you, but I'm going to judge the situation here. Because I feel like, yes. And last night we learned that Mackenzie's dad was smoking with her and enabling her smoking and drinking. So I'm curious about the parents and how they participated other than allowing them to be together and be doing all of these things. At least like try to sneak out, like, geez, you know what I mean? Don't judge anything. Like, that's not up to us. That's also true, Anakin Skywalker. He's chilling, hoping she would just leave. Yeah. She's really a lot to handle. So he says, can you try to be in a better mood? She says, why should I try? No one else is trying. Dom says, okay, well, I'm sorry to take your anger out. Mackenzie says, it's either you come fix this or I'm leaving. Dom says, what did I do? Mackenzie says, because I don't deserve to wait 2 hours to get treated like I'm not here. Why is she so entitled? Like, who is she? Why does Dom have to do everything she wants? She's not even paying the bills. She's not doing anything. He was buying the alcohol. Yeah. Shug says, I don't think he always treated her this way. He wasn't happy and wanted to make it clear to her, hoping she would just leave him. She's a narcissist. She's a lot more than that. Huh? But yes, you're right, Austin. She is a narcissist. She says, I don't deserve to wait 2 hours. So that's a no. You're not going to come fix it. Dom says, you can come chill with me and watch TV if you want. Mackenzie says, oh my God, the effort. Dom says, thanks, babe. Mackenzie says, like, shake my head. Thanks so much. I'm having a lot of fun right now. And she says a screenshot. And Dom says, I'm not having much fun either. You want to smoke a wood? Mackenzie says, thanks so much for making it seem like it's going to be fun. If I knew I'd be sitting here alone, I would have just effing went to sleep. Thanks for giving me stress too. That's just what I needed. Dom says, just come watch TV. And then we can go smoke wood at Carl's or something. He told me he'd be down to chill. It seems like Dom is so much more concerned to hang out with his friends. He's concerned with living his life, hanging out with his friends. He's sick of her shite, right? Like, he's over it. Like breaking sure a key in his car. Right, Mallory? Okay. She owns him. Oh my God, how scary. Okay, so now as we're reading through this in 2020, and I'm like fast forwarding to the crash, I'm like, I know most of us think she's guilty. I get a lot of people in the comments that are like, Melly, what do you mean? No, you're crazy. Melly, she was an accident. And I'm like, okay, chill out. Like, and they're like, I'm unsubscribing. But it's like, you know what? Like, this is a little much to me. This is a little much for me. I feel like they're both really toxic. And I have more questions about like her mom and their parents. I lost my train of thought there, what I was saying with, people commenting, but here's my train of thought, because people comment like she's innocent. She's not guilty. And I'm sitting here thinking, after we read these text messages, I'm like, I kind of feel like, this proves that she intentionally did it. I feel like, could she have just been mad and driving? And she was like, you know what? You think I'm playing, Dom? Like, you think I'm playing? I'm going to kill us right now. Or like, I'm going to crash this car. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. I'm trying to place myself there. I'm like, now I'm starting to think a little bit different of the accident. She snapped and decided to crash her car. Don't you guys think she would have thought like, I'm going to die in this car crash too. So was she trying to unalive herself? Dom is just properly a possession of hers. That is so scary. Please, 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 if you are dating anyone like this, please don't. He took her on nice trips and bought her expensive things, and his family loved her at one point. She was unappreciative, spoiled, and mean. Yeah, she was living at his house. Remember? Remember, she was living there rent free, and he was like supporting her. Molly says, I fully believe something went down in that car that night. She was throwing some sort of tantrum or making threats. She might have been trying to scare him. Kimmy says, piece of property. Napalm says, Sunday says she has rage issues and was under influence. Hey, Dylan Colbank. Thank you for being here. Don't think she thought it. Oh, that she was going to die in the car crash. Hey, Robert. Don't think she thought it through. The thing is, why would she have the mushrooms on her if it was planned? Good question. And why Davion? If she was literally thinking like, I'm going to take myself out and take Dom out, where does Davion come in? Like he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. So then maybe she didn't plan it or she did. I don't know. But these text messages make me feel like, okay, she probably was freaking out that night. And, you know, she makes all these threats. And it's kind of scary to be in a relationship with a person like this. So she says, I don't want to effing chill with Carl. Then you're going to get weird. When I try to sit by you, I'm not dealing with this tonight. Oh, so I'm going to come out there and stand for 5 minutes again because that sounds so fun. Dom says, come sit by me. Mackenzie says, if we can't sleep, we can FaceTime when I'm home. I'll stay up a little longer for you. I'm home, so we can FaceTime if you're still up. Okay, text me in the morning, babe. I miss you. I want to do something fun tomorrow. Dom says, I'm going to work out probably the next morning on the 119. I'm still so salty, honestly. Yeah, you were saying you were going to stop trying. I think that's the move. Never mind that, said Dom. Mackenzie says, okay, I'm sorry for pissing you off. Can I come over soon or are you working out soon? Some reason I keep waking up and thinking you're next to me. When you're up, just text me because I want to come over ASAP. I want to have a fun day. Please let me come over as soon as you wake up. Are you up? Babe, can you answer my texts or calls? Please answer ASAP, Dom. I want to come over. And then she says, she emphasizes the text messages. Are you working out or something? Can you at least tell me so I can come over after? I'm getting anxiety. I hate waiting for you to text me back because it takes so long. Please answer, Dom. Okay, I've been waiting since like 9 a.m. You can just please effing answer the phone. Okay, I'm just going to wait for you anyway. So whenever you answer, I'm coming over. This shit is worrying me. Please answer. She emphasizes all the texts. Dom, text me back on here. No text back. Text back, please. Don't do this to me. It's stressing me out. Babe, please reply. Dom finally says, I'm home. I'm at home. Mackenzie says, I know, I just want you to talk to me about this. I texted more on Snap. I miss you. We didn't really chill last night. I don't want to come late again because I don't just want to wait more because I waited so long yesterday. I'm asking you to let me come at least before 3. It will make me so happy and I'm not trying to argue with you. I just want to come be with you, Dom. Sad face. Please text me back. And then she sends another one. Arrow, question mark, question mark. Dom says, no, later. Mackenzie says, that's too late, Dom. Please just do this for me. I want daytime with you. I don't want to just be laying around. I want to do shit with you. Please. I feel like you hate me on the weekends. Please just reply fast, Dom. This is making me so sad. Babe, please, I miss you. I want to be around you. Please come before 4. Then I don't want to come to you when I'm tired or I get tired. I want time with you. Please. Please text back. And she's emphasizing, Dom, answer me. I can come over at 3:10. Please, it would mean everything to me if you let me come over soon. I miss you. I want daytime with you. Please let me. Babe, please, I'm ready to leave. You just need to say I can come at 3:10. Oh my gosh, you guys. Holy smokes. I am just dehydrated at this point. What is her problem? Why didn't her parents find her any mental help? Everyone's like, oh my God, exactly. If we ran at 15, she had freedom at a very young age. The parents wanted her gone too. Yikes, says Shug. Even at 17 years old, I could never allow a guy to treat me so bad without leaving. That part, Moonchild. She's so impulsive, just let her emotions and rage take over. So is that bipolar disorder? Is that a mood disorder? Probably trauma. I don't know who's crazy, Cindy Powell or this. Robert, that's a good one. That's a good one. Both are just as crazy. She turned the wheel and smashed his side. She wasn't thinking of Davion, probably thought he wasn't in the car. Kenzie was a psychopath. She told Davion she wouldn't give him a ride at first and finally said, okay. Block, 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 says White Buffalo. Austin says this is triggering for me. I know, Austin. I know. Her narcissism is mind-blowing. This is insane. She was blinded by rage, driven by emotions, and not to think about her passenger, Davion. That's really good, Kimmy. That's really, really good. I agree with you. I wonder where she adapted such behaviors. Thank you. I said this last night when her dad was talking about having vodka at 16 and her dad was giving her substances or knew that she was smoking them in the house and all this stuff. Remember the warm milk. If you didn't watch last night's live, go watch it. It's good. I just feel like I'm going to say it. I'm shocked they even lasted till 2020. Like, I'm shocked she didn't unalive him sooner. It's kind of insane. We just literally read 18 text messages in a row. A lot of us feel triggered by this because it's like, I'm thinking she might be bipolar. Yeah, she was freaking about something and just did it. Okay, so Dom says, come at 4. We're going to read a few more pages. Come at 4. Mackenzie says, okay, that's fine. Please don't switch up the time. I'll be there at 4. Thanks. Dom says, to be honest, I don't want you to come then. Oh my God. If that was me and that was my boyfriend, I would be like, bye. She says, Dom, please don't do this to me. You're getting my hopes up, then letting me down. Not the hips. Please just let me come over. Dom says 4:30. I didn't do anything and you're punishing me for nothing and it makes me feel like I'm nothing. She says, please just 4, meet me in the middle. I asked for 3. It would make me so happy. Please, please. I have to work early tomorrow. I want daytime with you. Please, please do this for me. Dom says, I want to watch football with my bros. Mackenzie, you couldn't just go find another boyfriend? So she says, I'll watch it too, please. 4 o'clock, Dom, I'm begging you. Please, 4, it would mean so much to me. It will show you're trying for me. Please, baby. Dom says, nah, we're not trying no more, remember? And for real, I never be chilling with Mike. So no, sorry. Mackenzie says, who's Mike? I'm trying. I'll always try because I care about you. Why can't you do little things for me? I'm asking for pretty much nothing. I just want to come over and spend time with you. Dom says, Mike is my brother. So it's one of his like bros. And then Mackenzie says, 4:30 is the latest time. I'm coming at 4:30. Dom says, no, I want longer now. Okay, I get he's like upset with her and trying to get her away and get her mad. But I think him like egging her on like this, like, oh, now 4:30, like that's also manipulation on Dom's part. And I just think at this point, I'm thinking they both have issues, and they're both trouble. So she doesn't see as a person, she can't understand him having his own needs. Bipolar multiple personalities and all of them are evil. She is scary. No, it's not a mental disorder. Her parents babies the heck out of her, gave her into tantrums as a child. She's having tantrums with Dom. And we saw her talking to her dad last night, which was also very concerning. And again, someone mentioned it earlier, like, where did she learn these behaviors? Where did she get so mad? Why is she like this? Like, is there like trauma that she just has inside of her soul that makes her act this way? Is it a mental health issue? And if it's a mental health issue and we think it's a mental health issue, should she get a pass? Now let's play that factor into the case. Would it be fair to say that she should get another trial if it's a mental health issue? Because clearly she had mental health issues. And on a previous live, we read over documents in 2020 where her own parents called the ambulance because she was having a psychotic episode. So that was 2 lives ago on the Mackenzie Shirilla playlist. So there's definitely something going on here. And I could feel like maybe her parents feel like they need to enable her and support her in the way that she is because maybe of something that's happened. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, do they feel responsible for how she is? He's straight telling her, I don't want to see you. And instead of being like, okay, bye, she just begs harder and harder. I agree, Mallory. It's like the more he pushes her away, the more crazy she gets, right? The more possessive she wants to get. Austin says, I get where he's coming from, though. It's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. I wonder if she has brain damage from the substance abuse. This isn't occasional use, it's constant. What's these dates? This is 2020. So this is about 2 years before the accident. So like, think about that. Like, we're looking far back into the past, like 2 years before this accident. They were together for 4. I'm sure the family has a lot more information to say on like Mackenzie and her parents. And, it's just so, and we see it all the time in true crime, right? Like these cases where they end up in a relationship and they end up unaliving themselves or the family cheating, etc. But like, holy smoke, we just gotten through 400 pages of text messages, basically her being just so plainly psycho. So then he says, no, I want longer now. She says, please don't do this to me. I'm being so chill. Dom says, no, you're not. She says, I'm giving you so much time and you're giving me nothing. He says, maybe 4:30. She says, I've been sitting here waiting and waiting for you and you're just there telling me no. 4:30, you can't do this to me. I've been trying so hard to give you space and time and your thank you is pushing me away even more. I'm begging you to come at 4:30. I want it to be like when I come. Please do this for me, babe. Please do this. I'll let you chill till 4:30. I'll be over at 4:30. I can get you food or drinks or anything. So he says, okay, 4:30. I'll get anything you want, he says. Are you getting food? Mackenzie says, I'm not fully hungry, so really it's up to you. Dom says, because there's not really food here till my mom's soup later. Mackenzie says, I can get anything. Do you want canes? Dom says, if you want canes, I'll pay you back too. Mackenzie says, I'm only going to eat some fries, so it doesn't really matter. Charlie's, Cane's, Chinese, anything. Chick-fil-A? Dom says, whatever you want. Mackenzie says, cane fries sound so good right now. What do you get from there, babe? Dom says, just get me the 4-piece combo and coleslaw, no extra fries. No coleslaw, extra fries. She says, all right, I'm going to leave at 4:30 so you have more time too. Dom says, no, he's already leaving. Okay, when should I leave then? Dom says, I don't know, in like 10 minutes or something. Do you know where my phone is? Mackenzie says, what one? I don't know how I would know, but I can help you look when I'm there. Dom says, never mind, I got it. Oof. So Dom was definitely a rug dealer. He had other phones for the deals. You know what I mean? She should have Taken to a she should have been taken to a psychiatrist or psych ward. No space at all. Her mom needs to be a mother and not be a best friend. Tough love is what is needed and still needs prison. I agree. Catitude. She's not mentally ill. She's spoiled rotten to the core. Her parents did not raise her the right way. The mom and dad both feared making her angry. They have to be relieved she is in prison. Living with her had to be pure hell. I was thinking of this morning, actually, Shug. Thank you for your comment. I appreciate that. I agree. I was thinking when I was preparing this live, I'm like thinking, wow, her parents must be relieved. Or maybe they're just as toxic as her and they have their own toxicity going on. You know what I mean? But yeah, I feel like they're probably relieved. If you looked at Davion's file, there's a lot of pics. Yes. Sharilla the killer. I saw you on my comments. Yes, I have all the pics, all the Snapchat. You guys, I have over 500 Snapchats and videos and pictures in one file. So it's unreal, the amount of stuff that I have. But I'm trying to be good and not show you guys some girl hitting the bong 24 hours a day because I don't want to get in trouble by YouTube. But they were all into it. They were all there. They were all there at that party that night. Davion didn't unalive anyone. You're right. Davion was just, I think he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And that hurts my heart, you know. He just wanted to ride home after popping some shrooms. And then he gets stuck with this crazy person in the car and dies. And it was a brutal accident. Crash, accident. So then Dom says, we're going to read to page 400 of this, and then we're going to start on part 2 tomorrow. So Mackenzie says, oh, where was it? LOL. Dom says, under my bed. Oh, weird. Can I just get extra fries with your food? Because I don't want a lot. I'm about to leave in like 4 minutes. Dom says, I'm already up. Oh, so that was on, my bad. So that was on 119. And then the next day, he says, I'm already up. Mackenzie says, you were out last night. You probably slept so good. I want to sleep longer, but I don't know if I can. At least I only work 5 hours today. LOL, did those brownies even come over? I'm craving them. Dom says, yeah, they done. Mackenzie says, okay, bet. After work, I'm coming over to get some. What time do you have work? 11:30, she says. 11:30 to 4. Cam just pissed all over my work clothes. Dom says, LOL, that's tough. Mackenzie says, I'm so salty now. I have to wear this crop top. Want a FaceTime or something? Dom says, yeah, 1 sec. I gotta get in the toilet. Mackenzie says, LOL, okay. Just got to work. I'll text you when I'm off, babe. And then she texts him later. I'm off soon. I might just chill at the mall for a little, but after, do you still want Charlie's? Dom says, yeah. Okay, babe, bet. Dom says, when do you get off work? Mackenzie says, 4. I'm getting the food right now. Question mark, question mark. Why are you leaving me in here alone so long? Dom says, I have to clean. Mackenzie says, oh, okay. Hurry back, though. Text me when you're up, babe. I'm up, but I don't know if I want to go. You got to go to school, babe, says Mackenzie. Or if you're online, you can just stay home, I guess, but I want you to try to get a lot done. I'm going to come over a little after 7 if that's cool, babe. Question mark, question mark. Answer. I'm looking for a ride over right now. Dom says, no, come at 10 or something. Mackenzie says, what? I'm ready. I won't have a ride at 10. I'll just get a ride to school. Oh my God. The whole point of coming now is because this is the only time I can get a ride, she says. You know this. Why are you doing this? Dom says, just get a ride now. Stay in the living room. I wasn't trying to, just trying to sleep. That's what Dom said. And then Mackenzie says, it's okay. You can sleep. I'll just kick it in your living room. When you're up, come get me though. When you're up, there's an effing issue. I need your help. Dom says, what's up? She says, can I come in? What the hell? Is she just like waiting outside the house? Or she's waiting at the big house, not his house? Like, students from her school said she was a bully and a mean girl. They did. No one is perfect. It's gross how her family tries to blast them as a good guys for being a passenger with her crazy arse behind the wheel. No one deserves that. Her mom keeps calling the warden to pass on all Kenzie's crazy requests. The madness will never stop. She worked at Dunkin' Donuts. She planned it. She won him back by pretending she changed. They showed up to a party together, show everyone together because no one breaks up with Mackenzie. Yeah, I did hear that they were broken up and getting back together around the night of the car crash. So I wonder if she was just like, he's not going to be with me. Well, no one is going to be with him. You know what I mean? That's scary. So she says, can I come in? He says, yeah. Babe, I need your help posting a pic. She says, where are you at? He says, when are you leaving? She says, soon. Lexi's on the way. Is everything okay? Are you here? Can you give me a hug before I go? He says, no. Mackenzie says, I left. I'll see you after. Dom says, I'm so mad. Mackenzie says, I'm sorry. I'll text you after. We paying right now. Want me to bring cheesecake back? Where are you at? Did you do it? Question mark. Do it. Now. Do it. And then she sends a blank text message. Mackenzie says, still blocked. Oh, so he blocked her. He said, I'm so mad right now, and blocked her. And she says, still blocked. That was on January 21st, 2020. And then she says, question mark, question mark. And then she sends the same text again. And then she says, unblock me. Babe, if you want to for real, you have to unblock me. Question mark, question mark. Text me when you're up, babe. It looks like I'm still blocked. And then he says, no, you're not. You can come over if you want, babe. See, this is like where I think like, why? Don't invite her over. Don't invite her over. She's scary. Okay, so then he says, no, you're not. You can come over if you want, babe. She says, I'm going to come over when my dad leaves. I feel like shit still. And then she sends a screenshot of a Snapchat. And then he says, tell him to drop it off, to drop it, of course, today, or give you money for it. I did just now, she says. He just left me on open. He's such a bitch. We'll see if he's going to bring it today. What is she talking about? And then he says, tell him I'm going to smack him for just being a bitch. Mackenzie says, okay, I hope he brings it. My family's still paying for that phone too. You feel? Dom says, how? I thought it wasn't activated. Wait. So are they talking about like their rug dealing phone? What are they talking about here? He says, I thought it wasn't activated. And she says, like, we still have to pay it off. Dom says, oh, okay. Mackenzie says, LOL, he's so dumb. Is she talking about her dad? Wow. Yes, Sharilla the Killer, we did see those. She was selling herself. We covered those on a previous live. He enjoyed the power he had over her. I do agree with you, Witch, on that part. So she says, LOL, he's so dumb. And then she says in the text and says, quote unquote, you're legit such a brat. bitch, I know. Dom says, tell him he can get the whole fist now. Mackenzie says, after he said that, I said, keep talking. Then he said, keep threatening me. It's all right here. And he screenshotted it. It's funny how scared people get with you. Bruh, I almost ate shit walking up that hill. I slipped so bad. Dom says, I would have told you it's ICAF. I was coolin' though. Mackenzie says, LML, I think I see your footprints, but it was so slippery. Would you get me a Pop-Tart and bring that up to me? Dom says, maybe it depends if I'm skipping anything. Mackenzie says, don't skip, but if you have time, bring me a snack. I'm so hungry. Haha. Dom says, okay, LOL. Mackenzie says, I already ate 2 Pop-Tarts from your house too. Dom says, I'll get you something different. LOL. Mackenzie says, pretzel. Dom says, I'll see because I might not have time. Mackenzie says, okay, if not, I'll ask Phil. Haha. And he says, okay, love. And then she says, Phil got me. I might leave. I'm probably dipping right now. I'm actually feeling like crap and sick. Dom says, I'm sorry. Go relax. Mackenzie says, I'm trying. My mom need to call it in. He says, okay. She says, I left. LOL. We should make tea today. Dom says, okay. Kenzie says, ask Cole if he's dropping my phone off, please. I'm on the way to work right now, babe. He's like, who is getting the phone, Kenzie or mommy? I didn't mean to send those emojis. LOL. He's dropping it off right now, I think, though. And then she sends a screenshot. You will never guess what just happened to me. Dom says, what happened? I'm wondering if the tea they're talking about is tea, if you know what I mean. So she says, you'll never guess what happened. He says, what happened? She says, my friend Leah's boyfriend came up with his friend and straight threatened me. Shit was scary AF. He was like, oh, I should have took your JS. I should have robbed your ass. Then he was like, you still got Leah's clothes. Then said, remember when I was about to work your friend? I'm scared AF, said Mackenzie. That was on 1/22/2020. The next day, Dom says, I'm up. Mackenzie says, okay, I'm asleep 4 more minutes. Okay, babe, I'm coming over. I want to see you. I'm so mad right now. My mom makes me so mad. She be doing this shit for no reason, like WTF. I'm about to be there. Or just take 1 hour to come back. Dom says, what? Mackenzie says, she just stresses me out hella, then leaves the room. Dom says, how? Mackenzie still chilling in the kitchen. Thanks for leaving. Whatever. Just woke up. Babe, I'm coming right now. I'm trying to catch a ride. And then he sends her some link to something. And she says, when you done, send me the new one. Dom says, can you help me by signing this petition? So he sends her a link to a petition. Mackenzie says, bet. Should I also use a fake name? Dom says, I don't know. Mackenzie says, and want me to post it right now? On the way to work right now, she says. Dom says, if you want. Mackenzie says, I'm going to get that famous kid to post it. What are you doing, babe? Dom says, I'm at home. Mackenzie says, today's a slow day. I'm bored and Carl called off because he's sick. Dom says, maybe I'll try to come up. Mackenzie says, if you can, Smiley, it will be nice to see you. Dom says, I probably can't. She says, it sucks. For real, I hope I leave early. Audrey's here. Dom says, don't start anything, babe. Get me food too, LOL. Mackenzie says, I might have to. Gracie and Maddie here too. And what food, babe? Dom says, that super good Chinese place right next to Charlie's. I mean, Taco Bell. The one with the chicken. Mackenzie says, OMG, what do you want from there? I'll see if I leave early. Dom says, I might get food somewhere else. When do you leave work? I can probably pick you up. Mackenzie says, 9:30. She says, scoop me. He says, just have your mom scoop, probably. She says, get me food. What you getting? I'll let you know when I'm off. Dom says, I don't know. And he says, okay. It was very short, though. Just a lot of nothing high school talk, like, oh my God, girl, this is nuts. And one said the relationship. Oh, yeah, the phone calls. What, her mom was being a mom? No, her mom wasn't being a mom. Dom liked the attention and like having the control, toxic on both sides. Hey, Self. Yeah, I think that they were both toxic on both sides. I guess it's true. Girl got backups. Me? Why are they always so mad? I'm getting anxiety from listening to their transactions. Chill out. I know. He lets her do whatever. I know. I know. Okay. We're going to end there tonight. We're going to end there because I have, like I said, 31,000 pages of text messages, and we just got through 400. Oh, Lord. And we're not even on year 2022 yet. So I'm really excited to get there so we can see what things were like in 22 and what kind of text messages were going out prior to this accident, right? Dom seemed like a pretty indecisive young man. Yeah, he did. He absolutely did. Okay. Oh my word. Yeah, your girls got them all. And then I decided I want to put all the videos together. We're gonna watch them. I want to watch them with you guys, all the Snapchat videos. So it looks like I have Mackenzie's social media file. I have Instagram. I have reckless driving. So the footage from her recklessly driving on her Snapchat, all her socials, the detective put them all in one folder. And then I have all her Snapchat. There's 4 folders of it, and each one has like 300 Snapchats. So that'll take us like 275 years to get through. So please subscribe and come back. And then we have the TikTok folder. But first, yes, we're going to get through the Dom text messages. We read 400 pages tonight. Yeah, bring them on. Right, Catitude? Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Dom was gone. Mackenzie started texting his mother. Yes, we went through Miss Russo's text messages last night in the previous live. So please check out the Mackenzie playlist. I have the body cam footage. I have all the interviews with the brother, the friends. I have the reports. We have jail calls phone calls from prison. I do them out over there. So make sure you give them love. And then now I'm the only one that I've seen on YouTube have all of these text messages and all of this footage. So we're going to get through it. We will get through it. We went through 400 pages tonight out of 31,000. We will get there. So please make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications. We will be back tomorrow with more texts from Dom. And I will be also covering Idaho 4 case. I'm also covering Emmanuel Harrow case. We don't just cover Mackenzie Shirilla. It's not just a channel dedicated to her, but I have been covering her a lot lately. I covered her back in 2024. And when the calls came out, she's been all up on the YouTubes. So thank you for being here tonight. We will leave off there and we will come back tomorrow on page 457 and we'll continue with text messages from Dom and Mackenzie. Thank you for being here. Please, please, please give your girl a like, drop a comment. And I hope to see all of you here tomorrow night. And we'll be covering, like I said, the rest of these text messages. I will be putting these on. I have my Patreon coming up soon. And those will be accessible there. And I do want to, like I said, I do want to show all the footage that I got from her Snapchat and all her socials. So I will put that together for us to go through them all. Adults only, please. Mature audiences only. It's a little much on her Snapchat and TikTok. But I will see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you for being here. Bet, see you tomorrow. New sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you for subbing. Please make sure you sub up, turn on your notifications. YouTube hasn't been the best at notifying. But I appreciate you guys here. Make sure you hit the like button. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. Please stay safe, stay cool. Love you guys. Have a good night.